If you've been living in Wellington, Florida, you've probably noticed that things are getting a little pricey lately. Like you go out for coffee and your latte costs more than your first car. But here's the thing, people are moving and a lot of them are moving to Ocala, Florida. Why? Well, one big reason is the cost of living. Let's compare what your money gets you in Wellington versus Ocala. Let's say you've got $600,000 to spend on a home. In Ocala, that can get you a 4-bedroom, 27+ square feet of living space, a pool, 1+ acre, and even an RV garage. I am serious. It feels like you're living on your own private ranch. Now that same house in Wellington, minus the RV garage, is gonna cost you close to $1 million. Spoiler alert, a $600,000 house in Wellington is gonna be more like a 3-bedroom, 1,700 square feet, and that pool, you're going to be going to the community pool instead. Yeah, big difference, right? Now, let's talk property taxes. In Wellington, property taxes are around 2% of the purchase price of the home. So that $600,000 home, it's going to run you about $12,000 a year in property taxes. Over in Ocala, property taxes are around 1%. So that $600,000 home is going to run you about $6,000 a year in property taxes. And just like that, you saved $6,000 a year living in Ocala versus Wellington just on property taxes alone. So when people say that they are leaving Wellington, Florida for Ocala, Florida, it's not just cheaper houses. It's cheaper everything. Lower property taxes, lower insurance, and a lot more land for your money. If you're Googling things like Wellington, Florida, cost of living, or affordable places to live in Florida, chances are you've already seen the numbers. Wellington cost of living index is 124 versus the state average of 100. And Ocala cost of living index, that is about 8% lower than the state average. Ocala's become a spot where people want more space without paying Palm Beach County prices. And hey, if you can swap that little piece of land for 1+ acre with a pool and still save $6,000 a year, it kind of makes sense. Now let's talk about why horse lovers are ditching Wellington, Florida for Ocala, Florida, and it's not just the price of hay. Let's talk horses. If you live in Wellington, you know that it is famous for its equestrian festivals, polo matches, and fancy horse competitions. It's basically the Beverly Hills for horses. But guess what? That fancy zip code comes with fancy prices. In Wellington, land prices are sky high. I am talking between $500,000 to $1 million just for 1 acre of land, depending on the location. That means if you're dreaming of a few acres for your horses, you better win the lottery or marry rich. But over in Ocala, also known as the horse capital of the world, you can get 5, 10, 15, probably even 20 acres for the same price that you're going to spend for that 1 acre in Wellington. And that's not even counting how much cheaper it's going to be to build a barn or a fence. Boarding horses in Wellington, expensive. Training fees, expensive. Everything in Wellington comes with a South Florida markup. In Ocala, it's a whole different story. Boarding's more affordable, vets are cheaper, and hey, it doesn't cost you your firstborn. And here's the cool thing, Ocala has a huge equestrian community. You've got the World Equestrian Center, hits, and countless horse shows and trails. So you're still getting world-class equestrian events without the Palm Beach price tag. So if you are Googling move horse farm to Ocala or best equestrian places in Florida, this is why so many are moving from Ocala to Wellington. You get more land, cheaper costs, and an incredible horse scene without feeling like you need to keep up with the millionaires next door. Unless you are one of the millionaires next door. But hey, Ocala still loves you. And it's not just horse people moving. Coming up, I'm going to tell you why people are escaping Wellington's traffic and HOAs for a quieter, easier life in Ocala. Does Ocala sound like the kind of place that you might want to live? So if you're thinking about moving to Ocala in the next 2 months or the next 2 years, click on the link below. Let's schedule a time to talk and see if Ocala is the right place for you. Let's be honest. Wellington traffic is no joke. Ever tried to get across town on Forest Hill Boulevard or South Shore during polo season? Forget it. You were sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic like it's I-95 in rush hour. And you were just trying to go 3 miles to Publix. I swear, you could walk your horse faster there. And it's not just the roads. Wellington has gotten super crowded. More people, more development, more noise, and let's not even talk about the HOAs. You've got HOAs telling you what color you can paint your house, what color you can paint your mailbox, what kind of plants you can plant in your front yard. It's getting harder to find peace and quiet in Wellington, especially if you are craving more space, fewer rules, and stress-free traffic. Meanwhile, up in Ocala, you've got wide open roads, less congestion, and more breathing room. You will still hit traffic downtown or during events, but compared to Wellington, it is a breeze. Between traffic jams, HOAs, and overcrowding, it is not a surprise that more people are saying, hey, let's trade all of this in for a little more peace and quiet in Ocala. And let's be real, when you can go grocery shopping without needing a GPS and a snack, that's a win. Here is another big reason why people are leaving Wellington, Florida for Ocala. Insurance costs too much. I mean, seriously, Florida insurance rates, they are out of control. But in South Florida, it's like playing a cruel game of how high can we go? I have had people tell me that their home insurance in Wellington went from $4,000 a year to $10,000 a year in just 2 years. Why? Well, hurricane risk, companies pulling out of the state of Florida, and rising replacement costs. But in Ocala, yes, you are still in Florida, but you are more inland with less hurricane risk. That means, yeah, lower insurance costs. I have seen quotes in Ocala that are about half of the insurance costs in Wellington. Saving thousands of dollars a year on insurance, well, that's a new barn or a vacation or just not stressing every time a hurricane pops up on the Weather Channel. It's not just the home prices that made Ocala an affordable place to live in Florida. It's the lower cost of living across the board. Property taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, it all adds up. And people are figuring it out. Yes, that is why families, retirees, and even equestrians are moving to Ocala, are saying goodbye to Wellington, hello Ocala. Coming up next, I'm going to show you exactly what life looks like in Ocala. From new restaurants and growth, it's not as rural as people think. Let's clear something up. When people hear Ocala, they think either horse farm or super country. But y'all, Ocala's glow up is real. Sure, there is plenty of open land and horse country, but there is also a growing downtown, new restaurants, coffee shops, breweries, and shopping centers. You've got places like the World Equestrian Center, and it's not just for horse shows. It's got restaurants, hotel, and even high-end boutiques. Plus, new neighborhoods are popping up everywhere. If you're thinking about moving to Ocala, Florida, you will be happy to know that there are tons of new homes being built. Everything from gated communities with pools, country estates with 10 acres, and 55 and over adult communities. And get this, many new homes in Ocala are starting around $300,000 and $400,000. People moving from Wellington to Ocala are loving the slower pace of life, but that does not mean boring. There's live music downtown, farmers market, and festivals. And you're only a short drive to Gainesville, Tampa, Orlando, and the beaches if you're needing a city fix. It's kind of the best of both worlds. You get space, quiet, lower cost, and still plenty of things to do. Check out my other video, The Pros and Cons of Living in Ocala, if you want to know if Ocala living is going to be right for you. So if you've been thinking about leaving Wellington, you are not alone. Whether you want to escape the cost, the insurance, the traffic, or you just want a new adventure, Ocala is on the rise. If you want to explore homes for sale in Ocala or discuss what a move would look like for you, let's schedule a time to talk. I help families relocate to Ocala every day and the North Central Florida area, and I would love to help you too. Click on the link below or scan the QR code to schedule a call. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.